What's going on live? It is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. So you know what that means. It's time for your Wednesday word. That's Wednesday word. Jumping straight into it. So today's topic is, which call do you want to be? Um, I've been actually thinking about this topic for probably like 2 weeks. And this past week I was in California, and this topic really resonated with me in the experience that I had being back home and visiting. Um, so what do I mean by which call do you want to be? It's not really about which call do you want to be, but a lot of the terminology I'm going to talk about is in relationship to a call. So we all have had that experience where our phone rings, we look at our caller ID and we say, oh man, it's them, whoever them may be. And we're hesitant or we dread answering the phone because we know it's going to be more drama. We know it's going to be more just more extra, more whatever that we really don't want to deal with, more needing to borrow something, more let me hold something, whatever it may be. Um, and so it kind of got me thinking about this topic of which call would I want to be when the phone rings and it's Billy and people see that it's me on the other end. What are their thoughts about the fact that I'm calling? Are they hesitant to pick it up? Are they excited to pick it up? Are they kind of like not in the mood to pick it up because they don't want to talk to me right now? All these different things that may come when this call comes in. So when I say which call do you want to be, really, though I'm saying call, I'm saying which friend do you want to be? Which person and which son do you want to be? Which daughter do you want to be? Which husband do you want to be? Which wife do you want to be? Which boyfriend, which dating partner, which person in a relationship with another person, another human being on this planet do you want to be? So when I was thinking about this term or this idea or this concept, I actually came up with about 6 different things that are characteristics that will help you be the person that people are looking to talk to and looking to engage with and looking to build deeper connections with and looking to conversate on deeper levels with. Um, the first one of them being, and I have a list over here to my left, but the first one of it over here being positivity. A lot of people will go out of their way to avoid negativity. One of the areas that I see this in is actually when dealing with, like, watching people deal with the homeless, where they perceive this negative experience is going to happen, whether it's they're going to ask me for money or they're going to ask me for food or they're going to make me feel uncomfortable. So they try to avoid the whole interaction by not making eye contact, by rolling up their windows, by locking their doors, by getting over a lane so they're not in the same lane as the person. All these different things they do to avoid the negativity. So that negativity, when you're in a friendship or when you're in any kind of a relationship, if you're bringing negativity, you're more likely pushing people away from you at some point if you're continually bombarding them with negativity. However, if you want to draw people to you, you bring positivity. And that positivity, what it does is it makes people want to be around you. Why? Because you make them feel better. They may not be bringing negativity to you. They may not even feel bad, but you make them feel better. As I like to say, you enhance their experience of life. So that was the first thing that I grasped. The next thing that I grasped was consistency. Now, consistency can work with you or it can work against you, just like positivity and negativity are kind of like yin and yangs. Consistency has a yin and yang in and of itself. Consistency can be in the negative sense, being that you call all the time and you need something. Can I borrow a cup of sugar? Can I use your car? Can you give me a ride? Can I hold $500? Like whatever it may be, you're always calling because you want something. You're not really calling to check on them. You're not really calling them to tell you how you're doing or what you're doing to be better in life, but you're just calling them because you need them. And they've typically been there for you in the past consistently as a good friend. So now that they've consistently been there for you in the past, you're consistently calling them with that need. The other side of that is consistency that works for you and draws people to you, makes people want to have a deeper relationship with you, is if their interactions with you are positive and they're consistently positive. Not that you don't go through things. I mean, there's been times where, I've been in car accidents or, the money's not right. I'm trying to figure out how to make the end of the month meet the paycheck that I got that's already gone. But instead of calling people consistently, groping and complaining about, how hard life is for me, I actually call them and I try to bounce ideas and solutions off of them. So I'm consistently calling them if I do have something that's dramatic or that I'm going through something. I'm not calling them just to simply complain or simply to quote unquote vent, because that's what a lot of people call complaining these days. They call it, oh, I was just venting. Well, if all you do is vent, then you're just complaining, and that makes you complacent. So I'm trying to call them with a solution. Hey, I got this idea. This is the problem I'm facing, but this is the solution that I'm thinking is going to possibly work. And if I take that solution and bounce it off enough of my friends, then I'm able to kind of make a better, more educated, more experience related decision, because I'm not just relying on my own input and my own experience. I'm leaning on my peers and my friends to get that information. So that's the second thing, is consistency. The third thing is confidentiality. Confidentiality doesn't mean necessarily that you're keeping secrets and you don't tell anybody about your conversations. That's not what confidentiality means in my sense of confidentiality. But when it comes to having a relationship, there's friends that I talk to that are also going through things, and they bounce their ideas off of me. And based on that conversation, I glean an experience from them, and I glean solutions from them. So if I do happen to talk to another friend, I don't go and say, well, you know, so-and-so told me this and they were going through this and this is what they did, you know, because that shares so-and-so's business. But you can share experience and knowledge and wisdom without breaching confidentiality. So I can say, hey, you know, I have a friend who experienced this before. I have, you know, somebody that I know experienced this before, without disclosing who that is, and say, this is the solution that they used and it worked for them. So when you have that confidentiality, what that does is it builds and it fosters a relationship of trust. I can trust that I can tell you things that are maybe my deepest, darkest secrets that I really am uncomfortable sharing with the world, but I know that those will stay between us. But I also know that you'll take those lessons from those deep, dark secrets and share them with others without putting me on blast. So that's the confidentiality aspect. Another thing that kind of goes with confidentiality, but I made it its own separate thing, is respect. I see this a lot right now, especially on like social media, internet thugging and, you know, keyboard warriors and all that great stuff. But I see this a lot where people now have a screen between them and the person that they're talking to. So they may be typing online, they may be having a video chat like this, but what they're doing is they're becoming really disrespectful just because a person has a different opinion than them. Now, just because you have a different opinion than me doesn't mean that I have to be disrespectful to you. Now, I will say, because I'm still growing in this area, if you are disrespectful to me, I'm more than likely going to be disrespectful to you. That's just who I am. I don't just sit and take a whole lot of disrespect. You can pretty much ask anybody who knows me about that. But I actually have a thing about respect. What it does is it allows you to take your conversations from a I don't want to offend anybody surface level and move to the deeper level of, hey, what are your thoughts about this that's going on in the world? What are your thoughts about this particular instance that happened in the news? What are your thoughts about politics? Whether your views of political views are the same or not, you can still have an educated conversation. And sometimes you never know. They may actually sway you, or you may sway them, or you might just still be on the two opposite sides of the fence, and that's okay. As long as you don't have a fundamental difference in, like, you know, I've had people that I fundamentally disagree with. If they're like telling me, oh, well, I think that, you know, it's okay to rob banks. Yeah, I don't think it's okay to rob banks. Well, you know, banks rob you and they take your money and they charge you fees. That's great. I still don't think it's okay to rob banks. Just don't put your money with the bank, and then you don't have to worry about that. That's where I'm at. And if you're going to be a bank robber, I can't really hang out with you, because at some point you're going to tell me about this plan you have to rob a bank, and then you're going to rob the bank, and then I might get caught up in that. So respect has to do with building that deeper level conversation, because what it does is it allows the friendship to foster additional trust, that I can tell you something about me that you disagree with, and you're not going to come for my neck trying to change my opinion and be all disrespectful, talking to me crazy. The next area is consideration. Giving consideration, I actually have a note here, but giving consideration, the simplest way to do that when you call or when you're talking to somebody is to listen. When you're talking or having a conversation, is to listen. Hear what they're saying. Process what they're saying. Don't try to get to the next step on what your response is going to be, or, oh, they said this, and so I want to say that. you'll have that naturally. But if all you're thinking about is the next thing you're going to say, there's no way on God's green earth that you're possibly listening and engaged with that person, and you're going to miss things. There's countless times where I'm talking to friends who tell me about whether it's relationships or, things that they experience at work. And then we have a conversation face to face. And I say, oh, that's this person who did this. And they're like, yeah, that's who that is. How do you remember that? Because when you're talking, I'm listening. I'm engaging with you to hear what you're saying, process what you're saying. And then if I have a response, I have a response. If I don't, I don't. When I was younger, I used to try to play video games and talk on the phone because, we didn't have Bluetooth when I was younger, and we didn't have little headsets either. So I would be holding my phone like this with a crook in my neck playing video games. And they'd be like, yeah, because and 16 minutes later, I've missed pretty much the whole conversation. And they're like, hello? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? Because I'm playing video games. So I was unsuccessful at trying to divide my time. So I'm very considerate of the space that I'm in. If I'm not available to talk, I'm not available to talk. If I am available to talk, or if I need a second, hey, what's going on? Can you give me a moment? I need to step somewhere where I can hear you, where I can talk to you, where I can listen and engage and be considerate that you've taken the time to call me, and be considerate that you probably have something to tell me. So that's the next level, is consideration. The last thing, and I think it goes underappreciated. And that's funny because it is appreciation and gratitude. When you have appreciation for a person, genuine appreciation for a person, not because of what you can get out of them and not because of what you can get from them, but because you value them and you value the relationship you have with them, that appreciation is felt by that person. So when they may feel low, or when they may, have a very important life decision to make, they reach out to the people that they feel appreciate them, because that appreciation yields and begets appreciation. So those are the 6 areas. Going back over it really, really quick, I got to look to the left. Is positivity, consistency, confidentiality, respect, consideration, and appreciation/gratitude. So as always, I like to share a story with you guys. And again, I told you in the beginning of this video that what initially got me thinking about, or more deeply about, this particular topic was my recent visit to Sacramento. And so in my recent visit to Sacramento, I had a week to be there and tons of people that actually wanted to see me. And I felt like, man, it feels good to be home and like people want to see you and rock with you. The thing is that because there were so many people that wanted to see me and I'm spending time with my sons, I don't have necessarily the flexibility that I would normally have to, like, yeah, I'll get together with you this day, or I'll get together with you that day. But there were 3 different things, and I wrote them down because it was very, it was impactful to me and to how people perceive me as a friend, because I'm willing to pour in everything I can to my friends. That's who I am. But it's good to know that the people that I'm pouring into have that same belief. So the first thing is I went to a brunch, and it was brunch. One of my friends wasn't even feeling well, didn't even come and eat with us, but sat down, came anyway, sat down, and just said, you know what, this is going to be the only time that I get to see you while you're in Sacramento. It's important that I connect with you. I haven't seen your face in a while, and I just miss your face. I just wanted to see you. That was the first person I experienced that just really brightened my perspective on having that consideration and that appreciation for the people who love and care about you. The second person was a person who I'm really good friends with. He happened to be in Sacramento, didn't have a lot of time, made his way to South Sacramento from downtown Sacramento to have coffee with me. And we literally probably met for like 20 minutes. It was like a lunch break for me. So we met for like 20 minutes and then he had to leave. But the importance of him coming out and reaching with, or conversing with me, was I just wanted to make sure that I got a chance to see you on this visit. You're an important person to me, and I value our relationship. I value our friendship. I wanted to make sure that I spent this time with you, even though it's a little bit of time and I got to go because I got to go to the next thing. That meant a lot to me as well. And then third, and I actually have a fourth thing now that I think about it, but third was a friend of mine who I used to work with. She's a friend now. Her and her husband took time to actually have brunch with me on Saturday before I left on Sunday. And throughout the whole week, she continued to engage with me. I was actually caught up with dealing with other people and working and stuff like that. But she actually took the time to like engage with me and say, hey, Billy, where do you want to eat at? What time do you want to meet? What's the plan? What day works for you? We've left our weekend open so that we can spend time with you because we miss you and we cherish and value you. She didn't say all that, but that's what I heard, because that's what appreciation feels like. It feels like you're being cherished. It feels like you're being valued, and it increases your self-worth within yourself. But made concessions to have brunch with me, and I could only spend like 2 hours with them, but we got to have a meal, we got to catch up, and we got to strengthen and deepen our relationship and our friendship. Actually got to strengthen it with both her and her husband. And then the fourth thing that actually just kind of pops into my mind is, initially I wasn't supposed to be in California for a week. Initially I was supposed to be there for the weekend and then come back to Utah. The thing is that I got an invitation via email from my friend, and it was going to be his daughter's 16th birthday. I love that little girl, and I mean, my son just turned 16, and 16 is a pretty big milestone. It's like the last 2 years before the world sees you as an adult. We'll still see you as our babies, but the world will see you as an adult. And so I actually adjusted my schedule to where I was able to work and stay for a week in California, spend that time and be at that birthday party, which honestly, and be honest, I didn't have the money to like buy a sweet 16 birthday present, but my presence there was very important to me because this is a little girl that I love. And I know that showing her love, number one, is number one important, because I feel like our young ladies are looking for that. They're looking for love, for appropriate love from their male figures in their life. But number two, it shows my friend and his family that when I say you guys are family and I care about you and I love you guys, I'm willing to do things that are above and beyond what the normal person would probably do. Most people are like, oh, you know, I'm going to miss that birthday party because I'm there the week before and I'm not going to be there that week. I actually made an effort that was successful to get to that party to spend time with them so that I could celebrate something that was important to them and is equally important to me. Other than that, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I now am rocking on YouTube Live. If you want, this is where we'll be at. You might be able to catch a replay on Facebook. I'm still kind of back and forth on if I'm going to take down First Row off of Facebook. But right now, YouTube Live is where it's at. You can find me here at First Row. That's 1STWROE. YouTube, that's where I'm at. So I will look forward to seeing you guys every Wednesday now that I got everything set up, ready to rock and roll. I'll see you every Wednesday, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Mountain Standard Time. Other than that, I love you guys. Thank you for watching and engaging and being a part of this journey that I've been on to get back to the First Row and the Wednesday's words. As always, there's actually comments there's a live chat, there's comments. If you're looking to engage with me, please engage with me in the comments below. It will actually notify me and I can respond back to you. If you know somebody who could value or benefit from this message, do not hesitate to share it. I will see you guys in 7 days. Until then, one love, God bless. Welcome to the First Row. Peace.